Why do you support Donald Trump?
I got a few reasons. Uh, my first question was when you were debating that girl for so long. I don't remember her name.
Hmm.
One of the things you said I have to contradict because you were explaining basically like one of the processes of aborting a fetus, and you said something about how you starve them. All right. So the one question I had for that is name one thing in the world that's not considered living that has to eat to stay alive. Do you get
It
what I'm?
depends. It depends on your notion of life. Like for example, like plants, right? They have some
I
process of
get that.
eating in
Yes.
some context. Yet it is the case
But
that
is a
they are
fetus
not living in a sentient context, but they're living in a cellular context.
okay? I understand that. I get that. Yeah, but I was just contradicting that because you like
So do you actually support Donald
you
Trump?
say they're not. What'd you say?
Do you actually support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
Why
100%.
is that?
I support Trump mainly for I do support the borders. I do agree with that, and we can go into that if you want to. I
Go
agree
ahead.
with
What
that
about the borders?
completely. For one, just like my argument to it is, how would you feel about someone coming into your own home and messing? Even though I will say, yes, it could be decent people where there's nothing wrong with them, or there could be people coming in your house free, come in whenever they want, and they're messing everything up. Like, how would you feel about that?
Do you think U.S. citizens should go into whatever state they want to? Do you think they should be allowed to?
Any state
Yeah.
and considered America,
Yeah,
yes,
without borders and restrictions. Okay. Do you think
but
they should
that
be able to go into your house?
no,
Okay, so just because you believe that people should be able to go through any state without borders in the context of America does not mean you believe that those people should be able to go into your house either. So, you believing that someone should be able to be allowed into your country is not obligating you to say that they should be allowed into your household. I think this is a bad argument.
but no, you're missing the point of why I'm saying that. Like, I'm just saying it as where good or bad, good person can come in your house, a bad person can come in your house. But
Well,
you
even
have
if a good
basically
person is coming to my house, I don't want them here unless it is the
no,
case
I
that
know, I get
I
that.
specifically invited them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But think about it from the country standpoint. Our country, this is all of us. Like, if someone didn't ruin it for everybody, where not saying one individual did it, but a lot of people would come in here, ruin it for everybody, all types of
Mostly
stuff.
U.S.
Ruin
citizens.
it. A lot, yes, I will agree. Yes, a lot.
Yeah,
But
over
you got to agree.
90% for DRUG trafficking.
But a lot are from out of the country that do it.
Less than 10%.
Okay, but that's still a number. You got to think that that's still a number. You got to start somewhere.
And there's a percentage that comes through tourism too. So that's also a percentage. Now, do you think that we should ban tourism?
No.
But the nominal increase of crime is bad, right?
Yes, you're right. Yes.
So just because the nominal increase of crime occurs does not mean that one, the rate of crime increased, right? Or two, that we should restrict people from being able to undergo that process. You understand that undocumented immigrants and documented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit violent crime and property crime in the United States comparative to natural born U.S. citizens.
Okay, yeah, but the whole, like I guess you're just missing the point where like you you got to start somewhere. Where can we? There is, and a bunch of people act like we're the only country that does this. There is several countries that yes, you can go tour, like you said, tourism. Yes, you can go do that. But living there, there's a bunch of countries where you have to go through a process to be
Yeah,
able to
and there's a
live there.
bunch of countries that have universal healthcare systems. If you want to adopt the different models that other countries have, well, then let's adopt a universal healthcare system.
No, that I didn't bring that
Okay.
up.
That's what. Okay. Well, no one else brought up other countries having those laws either. So
But I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of people that try to act like we are the only country doing this, and
no,
there's
no.
other. Well, I'm
By the
saying
way,
other
I
countries do
regardless
this.
of whether or not we were the only country instituting this law, I still think the law should be instituted this way.
All right, but I'll bring up something else though. A lot of people like to say, I don't know. I've never heard you say I don't know, but a lot of people like to say that like we're on stolen land. Like, have you? I know you've heard people say that how we are now on, like, we're on stolen land. Do you realize though, there's not one single country in this world that has its original people that was on it?
Why? What is the point of what you're bringing this up? And there are places around the world where that's true, right? And
No, there's not.
this is stolen land. We still need to acknowledge that. We need to acknowledge the of Indigenous Americans, the fact that Indigenous Americans had their land stolen, so that we can give reparations and help to Indigenous Americans, along with specifically creating a society that is beneficial for everyone, right? That's why this country can be so great, is we could be a melting pot for everyone around the world, where anyone can come to this country for a better life. And everyone who's already in this country can live in this country for a better life, right? And deserves access to social mobility, deserves access to education, deserves access to health care and child care and housing affordability, right? Bare minimum quality of life for every single person in this country. That's what I believe in. That's the type of community that I grew up thinking existed, but didn't actually exist.
No, I agree with that. That's what we all want. Like, I mean, if you don't want it, I agree with that. That's what we all want. But there comes to a point where that's never going to happen. Like, if we think realistically,
When you
that
say
will
that's
never
never
happen.
going to happen, I think that's not true. There are thousands and thousands of people that, if we work together, just in this live, we can create a society that
I
is more
agree.
likely to look like that. We're never
I
going to
agree
reach it if we have that attitude.
if we have that attitude, but you got to think to every good side, there's a bad side. So that won't ever happen. Like, you got to think.
Wait,
It
what do you mean
realistically,
what do you mean it won't ever happen? That's like people who said Medicare and Medicaid would never happen. Push the draft. Thank you so much.
but I'm
People who
thinking
said
as,
Social Security wouldn't happen. People said a work weekend wouldn't happen. People said paid family and paid maternity leave wouldn't happen. People said this in wait. By the way, this happened in other countries. By the way, universal healthcare systems exist in other countries. Like that's true. It exists in some states where people have broader access to healthcare in this country, right? In some states like California, we have expanded access to health insurance, like through the context of what's called Medi-Cal. So there is extended access to to medical care and health insurance in the United States, not to the degree that I would like, but to a greater degree than what exists on a federal scale.
okay, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. But what I was meaning when I was saying, like, that's not going to happen. There's, like I said, to every good side, there's a bad side. Where
Do you hope that it could happen?
do I hope that it could happen? That we could become a perfect country? Yes. Like, I
Oh,
do hope
I'm
that.
not saying perfect. I'm saying we can work better. This is like
That we could
someone
work
saying
better,
in
yeah.
a relationship that I'm never going to be a perfect partner. Sure, you'll never be a perfect partner, but you strive every day to be the best possible partner you can be, right? And if you were to
Yeah,
tell
no,
yourself over
absolutely.
and over again that you can't do it, then you would never be able to change and progress and be a better person.
Yeah. But do I agree with all of Trump's that he's doing? No, I don't. Just like, and did I agree with all the stuff Kamal was doing? No, I didn't.
Comma. So can you tell me specifically what do you agree with Donald Trump on? That is a reason to vote for him.
Okay, like I said, the borders. I agree with, like, young dude came in here early. Most of the tariffs. Do I agree with all of them? No, I don't. I do agree with a lot of them though.
No, so what about the
I do
borders?
agree.
Like what specifically about the border?
Just I think we need. I think if you want to come to this country, I want anyone that wants to live here, come live here by all means. But I want you to do it the right way. Think of someone like the and why I'm saying that is think of the people that came into the country doing it the right way, being like
So you want to
getting
enforce
everything
the
they
law.
need.
So like your goal here by voting for Donald Trump is to enforce the law, correct?
Yes.
So then why did you vote for a convicted criminal held civilly liable of a woman that pardoned violent rioters on January 6th who cops were convicted of it, admitted it to themselves, and then Donald Trump called them patriots after pardoning them? Is that enforcing the law?
No, it's not. But like you just said earlier, though, nobody's perfect.
As we're currently on an app right now where Donald Trump's not enforcing the law, because it's currently banned in the country. It's just Donald Trump's not enforcing the law. And I agree
Okay,
with not
yeah,
enforcing the law to ban TikTok because I'm currently using TikTok right now. But we could acknowledge that he doesn't enforce laws in contexts in which he doesn't agree with them. So clearly, if someone hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime and they're undocumented in the country, we should give them a pathway to citizenship, as there's no good moral reason to deport them.
okay. I mean, you're right. He is doing that. But like you said earlier, nobody is perfect. Do you? And does he? need
I'm not
to
asking for
think.
perfection here. I'm saying that he's worse.
Okay, but Kamala is not the best either.
Kamala is not perfect. I never said Kamala is
That's
perfect.
what. Okay,
But she's
that's
a
what I'm
hell of a
trying to
lot
get.
better than Trump.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far with it, but just there's a
Do you
point
at
where
least
like,
agree that she is better than Trump?
no, I don't
Okay.
agree with her views.
What views do you not agree with?
I mean, majority.
Such as?
Well, for example, abortion. I don't agree with that.
What about
I,
abortion?
I, I think an organism at any weeks that is in a woman is living. At any point, if a woman gets pregnant and it's confirmed pregnancy, that organism in them is living.
Okay. So I'm confused what your point is.
Like I'm just
Is
saying,
it
like
wrong to brush your teeth?
no.
You're living organisms inside of you by brushing your teeth.
Okay, my bad for using that word, baby.
Oh, okay. So you think a zygote is a baby?
Yes.
Okay. Can I show you a picture? Let me know. Is the human baby here, or is the human baby here?
Well, it's not the second one.
It's not this. So it's not this one, right?
No.
That's the human zygote. You said the
That's on me.
chicken-derived lactic acid was the human baby. Human baby. Oh my god. That's zygote, bro. That's the human
Okay.
zygote. I literally
Okay,
looked up
dude.
zygote. Do you
But
see?
how does that bring it up? What does that do with what I brought up? Like you're just asking me if I can tell.
Isolation identification of chicken-derived lactic acid. You said it. You said it's definitely not the second one, the literal zygote. That's the point, bro. I showed you a picture of a newborn baby. You can easily identify that it's a person. But when we're talking about zygotes, you have no clue. You can't tell the distinction because at that point, right, clearly has no defined characteristics we'd associate with what being a person is. And it would obviously be absurd if you mistook chicken-derived lactic acid, right, with a human baby. I mean, I would seriously never do that. It's not possible. Like, it seriously is not possible for in any circumstance me to mistake a human baby with chicken-derived lactic acid. Never once in my life would that ever happen to me.
Okay, human baby that is born though.
No, even if it's not
Wait,
born, even a human baby in the womb, right? I will never once, ever mistake a human baby with chicken derived lactic acid. Never once would I ever do that.
okay, well, then that's you. The thing, like,
Yeah, you know what? I can't assume that MAGA would be able to tell the distinction between a human baby and chicken derived lactic acid. Right.
okay, dude, like, that's not the whole point though.
Go ahead.
Like, what I'm trying to say is, I'm basically just trying to say, I'll be blank. It's living though. It is living, and that's a living thing inside of mom's stomach. Do I now? What I will say is, do I think it
Inside
is
wait, by the
right?
way, you said inside of her stomach? I didn't know that embryos and fetuses are in the stomach.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, sorry, like, you know what I'm saying?
Where in the human body does conception occur?
Conception
Yeah.
in uterus.
Nope. Nope. You think conception occurs in the womb? No. In the fallopian tubes?
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Where does pregnancy occur in the human body?
Like, where does the baby start being produced?
Where in the human body does pregnancy occur? He left. He left the live.